Tardigrade. Are you familiar with this microorganism? Tardigrades, or water bears, have been called the strongest organisms on Earth, making them extremely difficult to kill even in the most extreme environments. It is known that this organism has long been the subject of research by scientists to unravel the secrets of its extraordinary natural abilities and endurance. They have been shot with bullets at 900 meters per second, frozen at minus 270 degrees Celsius, boiled at 150 degrees Celsius, compressed under pressure up to 60 megapascals, even hit by gamma radiation of 5,000 grays, and even flown into space. But these creatures are still difficult to eliminate. The tardigrades' superpowers have been the subject of scientific research in recent decades, mainly to discover biological secrets that can be used to benefit humans, such as cures for cancer or other diseases, and even to help humans explore space with their endurance abilities. The unveiling of the existence of the tardigrade began in 1773, when the German biologist Johann August Ephraim Goeze looked in his microscope, where at that time he saw a strange organism, or different from the microorganisms that he had observed and studied, where they generally prefer to wriggle or swim. But this strange organism was different. It seemed to walk with its 8 legs with small claws at the end. Johann Goeze at that time called this animal a small water bear. In 1776, the Italian biologist Lazzaro Spallanzani named this organism Tardigrade. Tardigrades are tiny, smaller than the indentation of our fingerprints, averaging only about 0.5 millimeters in size. There are 1,300 known species of tardigrades worldwide. In 1842, Louis Doyer, a French zoologist, began conducting extensive experiments to learn about the nature and behavior of tardigrades, especially how they live in their habitats, which are mostly wet, mossy, and watery environments. But one day when Louis Doyer put a sample of a tardigrade under the light of his microscope, he saw that his tardigrade seemed to slow down, shrink as if it was dead. Then he left it for a few hours. Then he came back and saw the jar where the sample was, and it contained only small grains piled up. It turned out that the grains in the glass sample were actually dried tardigrades. Did you know that the tardigrade is capable of surviving in conditions of dehydration or extreme fluid deprivation? This behavior is referred to as cryptobiosis, where living things generally die from drying out. It is known that under certain circumstances, the tardigrade can deliberately dry itself out until only 3% water remains in its body. In this state, the tardigrade will shrink like a ball, which is called the tun state. In the tun state, tardigrades can live without water or in very dry environments for dozens of years. In this state, the tardigrade looks stiff. However, when these organisms receive fluid, the tardigrade is able to bounce back even though it has been desiccated for years. This state is impossible for normal organisms or cells, as dehydration can cause cells to collapse, inevitably leading to death. In 2017, a study led by Thomas C. Boothby of the University of North Carolina, USA, attempted to shed light on the tardigrade's extreme defense mechanism. The study found that most of organs of creatures on Earth are made up of fluids, making it difficult to survive extreme drought. In addition to the difficulty of surviving in dry conditions because most of their organs are made up of liquids, most creatures on Earth also cannot survive in freezing conditions. At temperatures below freezing, everything turns to ice, especially the cells of living things that contain water. The freezing of cells such as lipids, membranes, or DNA can create extreme fragility that can easily disintegrate. Although in some cases there are known organisms that have antifreeze compounds to survive extreme temperatures, the majority of these abilities are only able to survive at temperatures slightly below 0 degrees. This is very different from the ability of the tardigrade, which has been known to survive at temperatures as low as minus 270 degrees Celsius, almost absolute zero or 0 Kelvin, where atoms generally cease to vibrate at the quantum level. The researchers revealed that this defense system is caused by the ability of tardigrade to eliminate fluids in its body up to 97%, which makes the structure of tardigrade organs do not experience temperature crystallization. In addition, the researchers also tried to understand the biological behavior of tardigrade. When in the ton phase or drying phase, the researchers found that tardigrade is able to produce some special proteins when it is in extreme conditions. These proteins are unique, randomly structured, free expanding, and can protect tardigrade cells during desiccation. This tardigrade protein, called TDPS, is very unique because it behaves like a protective gel that can envelop the cell organs in the tardigrade. In fact, to prove the ability of this TDPS protein, the team of scientists also tested the genes that make up this protein and then inserted it into fungi, yeast, and other organisms that they would then test the immune system. And the great TDPS protein gene was able to increase the defense capabilities of the organism that became the object of the study by 60%. It is known that TDPS is also able to protect the tardigrade in gamma radiation doses up to 4,000 Gi radiation doses, where generally 50 Gi gamma exposure alone in humans can make your skin blister, convulsions, and will die a few hours later. In addition to the TDPS protein, the tardigrade is also known to produce healing enzymes and another protein called DSUP under certain circumstances. DSUP proteins can suppress, bind, and wrap around DNA strands to protect them from radiation exposure. There is also the TRD1 protein, which is capable of stabilizing chromosomes. With such an extraordinary defense, is the tardigrade really an immortal organism? The answer is no. All organisms living on Earth will definitely die despite having super abilities. The fact is that tardigrade's defense also has a limit. Although it can withstand extreme temperatures, if the tardigrade is exposed to temperatures above 151 degrees Celsius, its biological mechanism will expand, blister, and then disintegrate within minutes. Similarly, in freezing conditions, tardigrades will die within 30 years at minus 20 degrees Celsius, within a few days at minus 200 degrees Celsius, and can last only a few minutes at minus 272 degrees Celsius.